Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this training video I'm going to teach you how to pass a SQL interview, and in particular I'm going to give you a number of SQL interview questions and top scoring answers. In fact, I'm going to go through 23 SQL common interview questions, the ones that I feel are most likely to come up during your interview, and I will give you the answers to those as well. I'm going to cover both technical SQL interview questions and non-technical interview questions. And as I say, these are the questions that I believe will come up during your interview. So please do stick around and watch it from beginning to end. Now, I want to stress that this interview training video is suitable for all SQL job roles. So it does not matter which role you are being interviewed for. I believe it will make a big difference to your preparation. Now, before I get into those 23 SQL interview questions and answers, a very warm welcome to this training tutorial. My name is Richard McMunn. That's me there in the center. I've been helping people for about 20 years now to successfully pass their interviews, and I do that by always giving you top scoring answers. Please do make sure you subscribe to this channel by clicking the red button below the video, and then you won't miss out on any of the training videos I'm uploading. And I would also very much appreciate your support if you gave the video a thumbs up. That always motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. Also, if you want me to create a video for you that is based on your particular job role, please tell me the name of that particular job interview that you have coming up in the comments section below, and I will come on and create a video for you, or even give you some tips, some more tips for helping you to pass. So let's get into those 23 SQL interview questions and answers. Now, as I said at the beginning, I'm going to walk through 23 technical and non-technical SQL interview questions to make sure you are fully prepared for your interview, because of course you are going to get asked questions such as, tell me about yourself, what can you bring to the role, what personality can you bring, why do you want to leave your current job, etc. So there are 23 to work through. You can either take notes as I progress, or I will tell you where you can download these slides to help you join your preparation as I progress through the tutorial. So the first question of our SQL interview, tell me about yourself and why you want this position. So we want to make sure we get off on a positive footing. For this first interview question, here is my suggested answer. I am a strong team worker who can be relied upon to carry out my technical duties with passion and professionalism to ensure the goals of the department and the company I am working for are met. So my level of SQL technical ability is a strong match for the role, and I have experience of working with other developers, engineers, and also third-party service providers to complete tasks successfully. I want this SQL position because I feel I can contribute to the team positively. I can bring something new in terms of my competence. You are also an attractive employer to work for due to your future plans and also the reputation you have within the industry. So that's a strong answer. It puts you across in a positive light in response to this first SQL interview question. Question number 2, so a very basic question, which you will obviously understand and know, but what is SQL? So here is my answer. Structured query language, more commonly known as SQL, is seen as the standard for managing data kept in relational database management systems. So for example, SQL statements are used to carry out tasks, including updating the data and also retrieving specific data from a database. Question number 3, why do you want to work for our company in this SQL position? So again, this is a guaranteed question to come up. A lot of people want to know, well, why have you chosen our company? A lot of people will go to companies for the salary or because it's just convenient, but they want to know exactly why you want to work for their company in this SQL position. So here is my suggested answer for you. Within any SQL job, it's really important to choose your employer carefully. So what I mean by this is, in order to carry out your job properly, you need to work as part of a team that has clearly defined goals, sets high standards, and also works collaboratively to achieve all company objectives. So from what I found during my research into your organisation, you are very well thought of by other people who work within the industry. You have exciting and ambitious plans for the future. And it's clear you give your staff the support they need to grow and develop within their roles. That's a good answer to that question, which, as I say, is going to come up during your interview. Question number 4, what is my SQL? MySQL is an open source relational database management system that is based on SQL, most commonly used for web databases. It was co-founded by Michael Widnius, and the My aspect of MySQL is the name of his daughter. So the remainder is obviously an abbreviation for structured query language. MySQL is utilized by a variety of database-driven web applications, so these include WordPress and Joomla, amongst others. It is also used by many of the world's most popular websites, including YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So written using C and C++ languages, MySQL supports the major platforms you'd expect, such as macOS, Linux, and Windows. By the way, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm sure you are most probably on LinkedIn. I'll put my LinkedIn link, in the description below the video, so it'd be good to connect with you and say hello. Question number 5. What's the main difference between SQL and MySQL? So, SQL is often used to access, manipulate, and update the data within a database, whereas MySQL is a relational database management system that keeps the data within the database organized. So, in other words, SQL is a language created to manage relational databases, and MySQL is an open source relational database management system based on SQL. Question number 6. In SQL, what are joins? There are 4 main types of joins in SQL. These are full joins, right joins, left joins, and inner joins. Joins basically combine the rows from 2 or more tables. Question 7. What is an index and why is it useful to have? An index is useful because it allows for the faster retrieval of records from a table. Now, the index creates an entry for each value, which in turn makes it much faster to retrieve the data required, or in other words, an index is a pointer to data contained within a table. Question number 8. What personality will you bring to the team? So they are assessing here what kind of person you are. You might have immense technical ability. However, your personality might be someone who just wants to crack on their own, but the key word here is team. You know, what personality? Will it be a can-do attitude where you will help the team to achieve their objectives? And that is the kind of answer I suggest you give. So here is my suggested answer to what personality will you bring to the team. My personality is one of always being positive, having a can-do attitude, and also being supportive of other developers, team members, and ensuring I help out the team in a professional and timely manner. So what's important within a SQL role is to remember you are all working together collaboratively to achieve the company's objectives, and on that basis you have to bring your technical expertise to the table, look for efficient ways of working, and also respond to people's queries and questions in as quick a time as possible. So that would be attractive to any organisation, any hiring manager. If you said that's the kind of personality that you have, that's positive, you can do, but you've also got that technical level of expertise. Next question. If a constraint is added in SQL, what does this mean? There are many different types of SQL constraints which can be used, and their purpose is to specify a rule for the data within a table, limiting the type of data that can go within that table. So the constraint can be added either during the creation of a table or once it has been created. And constraints can be applied to either the table as a whole or column level. Question number 10. What are the more common types of SQL constraint and what do they mean? Here is my answer. There are several common SQL constraints. These are primary key, which identifies each record in a table. Not null is used to prevent a null value being inserted into a column. Foreign key, which provides a unique identification of a row or record within another table, and also default, which will automatically assign a default value if there has not been a value already specified for a field. There is also check, which is a constraint that is used to verify that all values meet a specific criteria or condition in a field, and unique, which ensures unique values are always inserted into a column. And finally, index is used to create data and to obtain it from a database with speed. Question 11. So far, you have referred to tables and fields in your answers. So what are they? In its simplest form, a table is a collection of data that is organized into rows and columns. The columns are vertical and the rows are horizontal. So the columns are called fields and the rows are often referred to as records. Don't forget, I'm going to tell you at some stage soon where you can download these slides and you can use them during your preparation. Question 12. What's your biggest weakness? So this is a difficult one because we don't want to give them a weakness that will prevent you from getting the job. So, my suggested answer for the weakness interview question is to say sometimes you find it hard to strike a healthy work-life balance because you're always committed, you're always working. Perhaps you are somebody who is prepared to do loads of work in the evening and your partner doesn't like it, something like that. Here is my answer. My biggest weakness is that I find it difficult to say no to people, and I end up taking on way too many tasks that I can handle at times. So in the past, because of my reluctance to say no to work, I've literally ended up working all weekend just to catch up. Whilst I will always say yes to work, I am learning to manage my workload more effectively and prioritise what needs to be done for my employer. So that is it's a smart answer because you are demonstrating that you will take on loads and loads of work, but you are becoming more smarter at managing your workload. Question 13, tell me what the different subsets of SQL are. So there are three main subsets of SQL. Firstly, there is data control language, or DCL, which permits you to control access to the database. For example, you can either grant access to the database or revoke it. Then there is DDL, which is data definition language, which allows you to specify data structures in the database, including deleting tables, creating them, or altering them. Finally, there is data manipulation language, DML, which, as the name suggests, allows you to manipulate the data, including updating, inserting, deleting, or retrieving data in the table as required. Question 14. Here is a situational type interview question. It's 5 p.m. on a Friday and you receive a request from a stakeholder who says it's urgent. You assess the task and it will take approximately 1 hour to complete. What would you do? Well, I'd tell them I'm not going to do it because I'm going home. No, I'm joking. You can't say that. So because it's 5 o'clock on a Friday, that's sort of a hint in the question is they are looking for somebody who is going to hopefully stay behind and do the work. So here is my suggested answer. I would start off by clarifying what their exact requirements were before setting to work on the task to get it completed before I went home for the weekend. I think in those types of situations, it's easy to say you can't do it because it's late on a Friday afternoon. But this is an important opportunity to show how flexible we are as an organisation and to also provide great service by going above and beyond what would normally be required. My personal life is flexible, so I would certainly be available to stay behind and get the tasks like these completed for the stakeholder. So that shows that you are putting the team and the organisation first, which is very important in any SQL related role. Question 15, how would you format SQL Server dates? So how would you format SQL Server dates? For this, the format function can be used. So this function allows the formatting of the date and the time. So firstly, I would decide what format I wanted. For example, day, month, year, or month, day, year. So if I wanted to get the double date, double month, and 4-digit year, I would use select format, get date, and then date, month, year. Question 16, what is primary and foreign key? For a database table to qualify as relational, it needs to have a primary key. So a primary key has one or more columns. The data within the columns is then used to identify each row in a table. And basically these are very similar to street addresses, for example. So if you think of the rows in the table as the dustbins or the trash cans belonging to houses on a street, the primary key is a list of the addresses. So primary key attributes cannot have null values. And a foreign key is a column in one table. So in that table, the values are members of a primary key column in another table. It is possible for a foreign key attribute to accept null values for there to be more than one foreign key in a table. Question 17, why do you want to leave your current job? So why are you leaving your job and why do you want to work for us? Here we go. I want to leave my job because I'm looking for a fresh challenge with a company that has exciting and ambitious plans for the future, and one that will also use my skills and technical SQL abilities to the full. My employer has been great and we have achieved some fantastic things together whilst I've been there, but I am now ready for a new challenge and I would like that challenge to be with your company. So a hint there is never be disrespectful to your former employer. Don't be critical of any bosses or your work colleagues. Always be positive and just say you're ready for a new challenge where I suggest your skills are going to be used to great use. Question 18. What is database denormalization? So denormalization is a method used to improve the performance of a database, allowing the retrieval of data in the quickest time possible. So essentially the process of denormalization adds redundant database data into a table, which in turn enables the performance of the database to improve significantly as the same data can be put in several places. Number 19, what is database normalization? Normalization reduces redundancy of data within a database. So normalization is a design technique that places large database tables into smaller tables and then uses specific relationships to link them. So in other words, normalization is the process of putting each piece of data in the appropriate place, using multiple tables. The benefit is keeping data integrity and it makes updating faster, but retrieval of data can then in turn be slower. Question 20, what are your salary expectations in this SQL position? So we need to be careful here. We don't want to devalue ourselves, but then we don't want to be overconfident and arrogant and put them off by saying we want a huge amount. Because remember, they don't know our capabilities at present. So here is a really strong answer to this question that works for both sides. This is a win-win answer. I have carried out some research in relation to the average salary for this SQL position, and the general range is between $40,000 and $48,000. Whilst I do personally feel I am worth the higher end of the salary scale, I understand and appreciate I need to prove to you my worth, and on that basis I would be comfortable with a salary of $45,000. So what I suggest you do for your role is carry out some research and look at the average salary range for your SQL position, for your job, and then, give them that range. I've given $40,000 to $48,000 there, and I've met them halfway, basically, to say that I'll be comfortable with that. I think that's a great answer because it's a win-win. Question 21. In SQL, what is a subquery? A subquery is often referred to as an inner query or inner select. So as the name suggests, it is an SQL query nested inside a larger query, such as a select, update, or insert statement, or indeed inside another subquery. So a subquery can be used to retrieve data that will be used in the main query, and this in turn provides a condition to restrict the retrieval of data even further. Question 22. What happens to the data rows in the table when the table contains a clustered index? What happens to the data rows in a table when the table contains a clustered index? The data rows will be stored in order. So cluster indexes sort data rows based on their key values. So when a table doesn't use clustered index, this is called a heap. And in other words, the data rows will be unordered. Question 23. So that's the end of your SQL interview. Do you have any questions for the panel? So we've got to be very careful what we say at the end. What questions are you going to ask? Here is my answer. Thank you. Yes, I would like to ask just 2 questions. What are the future plans for the company and how could I help you to achieve your objectives? And also, if I'm successful, what's the first thing you would want me to concentrate on in this SQL position? So we've covered 23 questions. If you would like to download all of those in slide format, there is a link that's appeared in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You can download those or go to my website, passmyinterview.com. Don't forget, if you tell me the name of your interview in the comments section below, I'll be more than happy to create a video for you with suggested questions and high-scoring answers. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn in the description below. Please do subscribe. I very much appreciate the support. I hope you've enjoyed that tutorial and good luck in your pursuit for passing your SQL interview. I hope you have a brilliant day.